What a pleasure to have one of the newest members of the Ohio High School Football Coaches Association Hall of Fame in studio, Southview's Jim Mayzes. Coach, thank you so much for taking the time.
Thank you.
How did you find out you're going to the Hall of Fame?
I got a call. I was on the golf course, and it was Glenn Gillespie is the one that called me first, and he wanted me to get together with the guys I was playing with. One of them was another coach and a friend of mine, and he said, put it on the speaker so they can hear.
So he wanted it to be a group affair.
He wanted it to be, yeah, and it was a buddy I played, one I grew up with for, the last 60 years, and another one I played football with. Craig Treichel was with us, so it was quite a moment. We were doing a little golf tournament with Adrian College alumni football team, so Polka's out there, we were having fun.
Dean Pease, Dick Cromwell, you're in that group now. And you made a face when you heard those names. Does it feel real that you're in that same fraternity with them?
I don't know about that. Yeah, it feels real, but when you start talking about it like that, it's a little different.
Why do you say that?
Well, I don't know. Those are some pretty big names. Cromwell's pretty well known around here. He's quite the dude, no doubt about it. Dean Pease, what do you say about that?
You have as many NLL championships as you have fingers, +1, and you have a state title. You have another regional title on top of that. What is the honor that you think got you the Hall of Fame?
Not quitting. I don't think, I certainly if you win a state championship, that makes a lot of difference to people. But I think the thing that really got it, my first athletic director, he told me there's going to be many things happen to you, and all kinds of reasons to quit. Do you want to coach or do you want to quit? So I just stuck it out, 9-1 and 0-10. And I just kept doing it. And I think they look at how many years you tough it out. There's the good, the bad, and the ugly. So Jeff Bunker, my first athletic director, God bless him, he was right. There's always reason to quit, but what are you doing it for?
As you continued coaching, what need did you have that only football could satisfy?
Well, I don't know that it's only football. I love basketball.
But there's something about
track.
The gridiron that just stuck with you.
I love defense. I love defense. As a younger guy, I really love defense. Not so much as an older guy, but I think the struggle, the intensity, the brotherhood, the harder you work, the harder it is to surrender. Those type of kids that buy in. I read something once about a state championship in Michigan. They started having them in the 70s, and the kid talked about, if you'd given us all $1 million, we couldn't have played any harder than we did. And those teams that feel that way, and I've had teams 0-10 that I was so proud of because they played as hard as they possibly could. I think sometimes, and coaches that have done it a long time would probably agree, those guys that keep slugging when there's no hope of victory on the scoreboard, but they won't go down. I think that inspires you to keep coaching, whether you win or whether you lose. Sure, everybody wants to win a state championship. Everybody wants to win all the time. But when you don't, there's a lot of things, good things that happen.
But when you win a state championship, especially in the division you did it in, you get put in rarefied air. How content were you after 2008? Content?
I think we did feel like we had climbed the mountain because in '99 we lost 1918. We had some unfortunate, we fumbled a kickoff return and gave them the ball on the 2-yard line. They scored. You lose 19-18. You're supposed to lose a bunch of games that we didn't lose. I think Junga, when he wrote the article in the paper, did a great job of capturing how all those boys felt. And then 9 years later, we were able to climb the mountain again. And that 2008 team that had great coaches and wonderful players all over the field. And so did Anderson have great coaches and wonderful players. But they won that for everyone that had been trying to do that for a long, long time. It was certainly a struggle, and to get it done that day. I know I hugged Brian Keiser, who was the center and stud end on that '99 team, the first one I hugged. And we had done it. It was over, and I was glad he was there. He's getting into He's getting into Hall of Fame. Keiser, I love you, buddy.
What meant more to you, climbing the mountain or finally reaching the peak?
Wow, that's a really good question. I think it really did mean a lot to get there, for sure, because it's so terrible to get as far as we did in '99 and not get it done. I think that wonderful things happened, but if you don't get it done when you get there, we scored on the 33rd second. There was 32 seconds left on the clock. We were behind and scored. I think getting there probably means just a little bit more than the journey.
What do you think that championship did for your legacy?
Oh, I know it did a lot of, to people, because when you win, that's what people want to see.
Yeah.
But I think the relationship that I have with players, I think that probably means more when you look at everything, that kind of thing. Cougar Pride, 1994 team. That's the group text. And I know there's 12 of those seniors, and there's quite a bit of chatter from that 94 team. And I just appreciate those guys so much. They, 12 seniors, and they beat Maumee there at the end of the year, and Maumee was undefeated in '94, and that was a big deal too. And the closeness that those guys that we still have is really special.
You spoke about the relationships and how much they mean to you. If I asked you to list off every single person that got you to the Hall of Fame, how long would we be here?
We'd be here a very long time. But I'm going to mention Gillespie again. I think he has always had my back. I've had 7 athletic directors. Jimmy Huss is a wonderful one I have now, but I've always had a great relationship with those people. I think we've had 6 principals, 5 superintendents, and I've always felt like the administration has had my back in all kinds of situations. So I've really appreciated that. I wouldn't have been able to continue if I didn't have that kind of support. So many great coaches. I want to mention Steve Hardy, who is now our head coach, was an assistant for me my last couple of years. What a great guy, and he's teaching the kids all the right things. So, if I start naming coaches,
we'd probably be here for like an
hour
or two.
We're going to be here a while. We're going to be here a while for sure. Yeah. I'd shout out to my buddy Treichel, that he's a baseball coach, Bedford. He's in the Hall of Fame up there. That's certainly a special guy that helped me out and came in. The first year he was with us, we won the state championship. So that was great. Kevin Schmidt, another great guy. I mean,
you could keep going if you want.
years.
You could name everybody.
I should have just. Phil DeMars, just a wonderful, wonderful coach that helped me so much when he was a head coach. He was an athletic director and a head coach, and then he retired and came and helped us. Jeremy Rowe, great offensive line coach from that 2018. Kevin Schmidt, my gosh, 20 years coaching quarterbacks. Chris Schilling, an amazing coach. Wow. Doug Neuendorf. I had Doug Neuendorf as an offensive line coach. Doug, you don't know who, but Doug Neuendorf was one of those teams at UT that didn't lose a game. 60s, 70s, couldn't have a better offensive line coach than Doug Neuendorf.
So you had so many people around you that led you
I'm not
here.
saying names that I should say, and I apologize. There's great guys over there now. Jimmy Beach, great coach. Ben Steele, doing a great job. Vogues, doing a great job.
What did coaching teach you about yourself?
I think as a child, I went to 6 schools in 2nd grade. I went to 14 schools before I was out of 4th grade. It was a tough life, and I kind of believe that made me be able to handle things a little better than some people. Certainly didn't have a silver spoon, and I think my grandmother inspired me to be a teacher. She said, "You don't go to college." She was a teacher for 50 years. Most influential person in my life, May H. Judson. She said, teachers are born, they're not made at college. They'll teach you good things, but you are or you're not, and you have to have the love of presenting that information and getting satisfaction knowing that you did something good for that child. And I think that is what inspired me to continue to teach physical education, which I love, and then the football was the level of intensity, how competitive. You didn't have to worry about being too competitive. You could be as vicious, competitive as you possibly could, and it was okay and it was respected. And I think that's what kept me there.
The way you talk about your upbringing and your journey, you make it sound like you're not supposed to be here. So where would you be without football?
Well, I don't know. Because Henry Mensing, God bless him, was my high school football coach. Jason, wonderful, his son, wonderful coach, won a state championship up there at Whiteford. But Henry, scar on my knee, that's 53 years old. Henry was there when that happened. He lifted me up so many times, got me to lift, really paid attention to me and nurtured me in all kinds of ways. Then he came to Adrian College. He was a coach when I was a player there. That meant a lot to me. Henry Mensing, Tim Gale, those guys, Steve Prang, my high school coaches, Bill Spencer, those guys really gave me some stability and made me believe I could do good things. So when Henry became the coach and then he became the athletic director at Adrian College, that really inspired me to continue. I know we lost a state championship in '99, and I said to him, what should I do? He says, you stay right where you're at. You have a good place to be. You don't want to be looking around. Told me about some of my buddies that were coaching in college and changing jobs every year. Henry's, he always led me in the right way.
Final question for you. Let's say you're coaching a team of your greatest players. Who are you picking as your captains?
Well, the first thing that I would do when I think about that kind of leadership is I want to thank my wife. Captains, leaders, she's a leader of our house. She helped feed and take care of so many football boys. It's very difficult to be a real good high school football coach if your family isn't into it. It wasn't a job, it was a way of life with us. And she fed lots of kids, she took care of lots of kids. She was the football mom. A lot of coaches, especially now, there isn't that thought. I know Gillespie and Twyla, God loved Twyla, his wife, they were a team. We were a team. I think the first thing that I would think of as a captain is I want them to have the character that my wife has. So that's difficult. That's difficult. And then I think they have to take that and feel as though they're starting to become the big brother and then the dad of the team. They got to be big brother. And big brother has got to be responsible and got to say things that other might not want to hear. So you put together that toughness, that caring, that love, that character, and that starts to show who the captain might be.
Jim Mayzes, one of the newest members of the Ohio High School Football Coaches Association Hall of Fame. Coach, that was beautiful. Thank you so much for taking the time.
Thank you. Thank you.